Hi guys, so I'm here with Project Artemis again to give a breakdown on how my recent tournament run went, which I'm very happy with, spoiler alert. So I'm once again in a new location, but I should be back soon to give more structured videos. I'm gonna go chronologically in this video, where basically I started off with like how I got there, how I registered, and then kind of run my tournament report, and like how I prepped for the tournament and stuff. So I was basically like kind of planning this trip after Worlds, and well, like pretty much after I planned it, actually, the Champions League dates got announced. I was like, oh my god, I have to go. So changed everything, booked to go to Yokohama before even knowing if I got in. I was pretty confident my chance of getting in because basically the way it works is like for every single Champions League you miss, because it's like 18,000 people playing for like a 6,000 person tournament. So for every single Champions League you miss, you get like increased chances to go into the next one. So I got into this one, very thankful about it. I was very, very nervous about missing, and my prep kind of like immediately started the moment I landed in Japan. So my preparation for this tournament was basically I saw this Jellicent list do like really well at Worlds. I was pretty interested in it, right? Because it seems really good into Mirror, it seems really good into Golden Go. It's kind of like a Gardevoir list with like the option of Jellicent rather than being like a Jellicent deck in itself. Tested out a bunch and did not go well. I only got a single first place in about 2 weeks of like continuously going to tournaments. I even signed up for like a city league as well, which is basically like a bigger league cup. Pretty hard to get into as well, but I also didn't do well on that with Jellicent. I just kind of felt like the deck, like I wasn't vibing with the deck. Like it wasn't like aggressive enough. I was drawing really bad hands. The Devo, the Jellicent, none of it felt like that amazing when like paired together. So I was like a pretty low point. And I basically saw this aggressive like Gardevoir list do really well in like Monterey Regionals with Frankfurt. And it like this interested me greatly because it was kind of like coined like Turbo Gardevoir 2.0, and I was a massive fan of Turbo Gardevoir 1.0, so I just knew I had to get on it ASAP. Got the list, made some changes to what I thought would be to the new format. I think this is like the first list that I came up with, and I just like started running it towards locals. I instantly got my first place going 4-0 at like a smaller locals. I think it was 3-0, and then I got 4-0 at like a much larger locals on like a winner box, 25 players. So I was feeling really, really, really good about the list. But the day before the Champions League, I'm from Osaka to Yokohama. I was kind of like looking at the list, and, like seeing what I can improve, and I consistently found myself needing like more Bravery Charm. So I decided that the third Bravery Charm is just too important to have, like not have with Mega Dianchi. I'll get onto it later, but changed my list, changed an Evo to Bravery Charm. I think I added third Lilies in at this point as well. And everything just seemed to work so well in like the few games of testing I did. For the actual list itself, so obviously I really wanted to build like a Turbo Gardevoir list for like the new format. After being like very unsuccessful with Jellicent, that was like where my head was like entirely at. Like that's like what I knew I wanted to do. The main changes I would say is, of course, I've only got one Evo in this list. I have the Mega Dianchi, and I have a very changed up supporter lineup, as well as one Mystery Garden. I really like my changes because I feel like they're kind of like very like comprehensive to like the idea of a list. So I found in testing that I would just miss Team Evolution so much, even with two. So I kind of wanted to take like the list away from like a Team Evolution build, and Dianchi's kind of like perfect for this because two energies, you can start swinging with 240 damage without like a single Mega Gardevoir build. And it combos really, really, really good with like the Bravery Charms as well, which is why like the three Bravery Charms on the list made so much more sense with Mega Dianchi. Um, Going for like a less Team Evolution engine as well, will make a couple of really important cuts. So for example, because like this deck doesn't rely on like Super Box for Artisan in the early game as much, I wasn't really that worried about prizing Artisan, so I went for a one Mystery Guard, one Artisan split to kind of make like my late game like a bit more consistent. It also allowed me to go for much more Lilies instead of like two Lilies, two Arvin, so I'd go for three Lilies, one Arvin, which was just like, it was just such an amazing change. Definitely highly recommend the support account specifically for anyone trying to build a new format, even if you start including like two Evo back into a list or whatever. So yeah, I was kind of like my logic from the changes with less Evo, with Mega Dianchi, with like the new supporter lineup. Move away from Evo, move more into like a list which can like function without like even taking up like Gardevoir out for like the entire game, right? I was testing some other stuff that I wouldn't recommend. I was testing Heroes Cape Mega Gardevoir before I knew about Diancie, because I didn't actually like know about this card at first. What they did was, yeah, it's like Grimmsnarl is really popular in Japan, so you Heroes Cape to Mega Gardevoir, and you can start Oko-ing Grimmsnarls without being Oko'd. Unfortunately, no secret box in your list makes it really, really, really clunky and really bad to play. So it just like was not working out in the slightest. I definitely recommend keeping the secret box for like most future Gardevoir lists, 100%. So yeah, that's kind of like how I read my list. Other lists I was testing. Didn't like Jellicent, didn't like Heroes Cape. I was very happy with the list I came to. I think it was pretty much perfect for like what I wanted to do in that tournament. For example, Diancie is just like better than Mega Gardevoir, right? You can just like do like the same thing where like it doesn't get Oko'd by Grimmsnarl, doesn't get Oko'd by Charizard, but it's still just like much more easy to pull off card being a basic and not needing to like dedicate your A-Spec to like making it function properly.
Hi folks, Sable here from Project Artemis. I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you to our sponsor Heavy Play for sponsoring the team and showcase off a few of their wonderful products that they make. Starting off, we have their deck box RFG Max. This is a wonderful little magnetic deck box, flip alcove with a picture display for you to showcase your favorite card. We also have their dice box RFG. What's nice about this is it magnetizes to itself, so that is not moving. You don't have to worry about like accidentally knocking over your dice tray or anything. It also magnetizes to deck box. Their full system is entirely magnetic, so you can dice box to dice box, deck box to deck box, deck box to dice box here. And even going one step further, they have a foldable magnetized playmat. So instead of rolling things up, this folds up nice and flat. You can throw it in your backpack real easy. And then your dice box also will magnetize to it. Keep your dice box on there. Keep it on your playmat nice and flat there in the corner. And that thing is not moving. Once again, we just want to say thank you to Heavy Play. If you're interested in any of the products seen here, please go to heavyplay.com/Artemis or use code Artemis at checkout for 10% off your order. They have red, blue, black, white, gray, green, purple, a whole bevy of colors in their entire suite for you to use to your heart's content. We really do recommend you checking out their product. Anyway, back to the video.
I get to like truly fully explain my tournament run as well. The tournament structure in Japan is like much different to the West. So I've got my notes here. Basically, the way the tournament structure works is you get given like a time to arrive at. So you might be asked to arrive at 11, you might be asked to arrive at 12, you might be asked to arrive at 1 p.m. And you're expected to play 8 best of 1 rounds in 5 hours and 30 minutes. So like maybe asked to arrive from 12 to 12:30, and then like in that time frame you have to complete 8 best of 1 games in 5 hours, which is actually really doable. And I really enjoyed the system because basically like what I would do is I would like start a game. It would like message you like your like seat number and table, and you'd be able to find a game within like 2 minutes of searching. So they have like their own like app to search it. It was like it was all online. It was all on like the Lion app. Really good system. Sit down, finish your game, and because like I always get really fired up after games, right? I want to like start like a new game immediately. I would literally just like the game would end. I'd go back on my phone, input the results, start a new match. I think I'd literally finish about 8 best of 1 games before like 5 p.m. It felt so efficient. It felt so fast. I would really love it if like the system came to the West. Unfortunately, day 2 is a lot more like a traditional Western tournament, where like all the round pairings go up like on the same time. That one lasted a lot longer than day 1 did. It was still fun though. I still enjoyed it. So for round 1, where you've got like the continuous matching, we've got round 1 against Grimmsnarl Nerf Frostlass. Well, they brought the Morpeko out on me. This matchup was not fun for me. Basically, I bricked really badly. I didn't get a single EX or like Monkey Dory Dark Attachment until there were 3 prizes. They had like a really strong start where they got like turn 2 Candy and like turn 3 Boss. it was just very tough to deal with. I had a really cool comeback line where I like counter catch up their dory with energy because they already committed their air balloon early. I scream tail their other dory with energy. I can basically kind of like create this board out of nowhere where they have a board of like 0 dory energy, right? They have to retreat one away. I'm carrying their other monkey dory. As long as this I earn to 3 sticks, I have a pretty good shot of winning by just being able to like streamline Dianchi, because Grimmsnarl can pretty much never get through Dianchi, but they just like didn't really brick and they just like they would have to have like infinite like monkey dory dark. They played like 11-12 energy, which I did not expect at all. So yeah, at this point I was feeling quite bad because I didn't lose against the most serious deck. But I lock back in. I think I take like a 1-minute breather. I'm allowed to start the next game whenever I want. Round 2 against Festival Lead. Obviously, I kind of like boost my morale a lot because it's just such an easy matchup. I didn't draw the best in the start, but the matchup is so favored, it's just like almost impossible to lose, I think. I did actually get surprised at one point because they basically went, I like swung with Gardevoir for a turn, and I had no clue they were able to one-shot it because they went Max Belt, Kieran, and I was like, oh my god, what just happened to me? So they were able to like take a surprise knock out my Gardevoir that way. I think they also took another 2 prizes by bossing up my Pheasantipity. But apart from that, it's just like a very free game. I can just like take prizes so much faster than you can. Round 3 was against Jellicent Gardevoir. I don't remember this matchup as well as the others, but I think what ended up happening is they missed turn 1 Frillish, and I don't think I was able to get a Gardevoir immediately. I might have been able to, but I would just start like, I would just get up my Screamtail, and I would start like spawn camping their Frillish. Their deck seemed very bricky with like Dead Jellicent and Devolution in hand. Even throughout like them having access to like Nerf Frillish throughout the entire game, I still remember this game being fairly close, to be honest. My opponent played very well, so it's definitely rough for both of us. It's such like a high intensity game happened in round 3 when we're both already down a game. Because the way the tournament works is once you have 3 losses, you're just automatically dropped from like the entire tournament. So yes, definitely very rough to be so close to dropping that early on. Round 4 was against Poltnar. It was a very close game. They drew very well. They played very well. And they got like a full board wipe on like all my Curlian routes twice to go to 1 prize, I think it was. Because they used 2 Dust Noirs, even though I took 0 other prizes that whole game, I knew that if I ever got off a Mew attack, I could easily win through going Monkey Dory, kill one of their Badoo, put 13 Cloak, and then Mew attack for an extra 3 prizes. However, because they like kept board wiping all my Curlia, re-establishing my board was really difficult. So at one point, to kind of play around then like going Jamming Tower, keep my Mew EX in the active, I had to retreat into Pheasantipity, and at which point they bring out the Maractus, which I'm guessing they were playing 1 Jamming Tower and playing Maractus instead. I had no clue how I was supposed to predict that. They start Maractusing my Pheasantipity, at which point I do make a blunder, because like I expected the Maractus lock to go on much longer than it actually did, so I bench locked myself. I'm benching a 3rd Monkey Dory just so I have like access to like more control on like the damage on my side, right? I did end up winning by earning them to 1 card and counter catching their Dragapult EX without energy, so the Maractus lock would be broken. But I definitely think I give them like an extra turn or 2 by benching that 3rd Monkey Dory, so it's definitely a very bad play for me to do. I gave them like an extra turn to find boss, so definitely didn't get punished, but at the same time, I don't know how I was supposed to know they were going to play Maractus. Round 5 was against Jellicent Gardevoir. So it's a really interesting matchup. I actually really enjoyed playing this matchup. It's definitely not as unfavored as many people would think. I already beat 1 in the tournament, 2nd time I'm playing against 1. And I'm forced first, and I basically go like bench route, attach my active Monkey Dory, and pass turn to them. At which point they get into a turn, I think they start Frillish even. They return 1 attack, and my turn 2 is actually draw, attach Dark, Mind Bend 20 damage onto Frillish. I guess I might have like attached Psychic, but I have a Dark Energy to Mind Bend. Knock out their Frillish. This then gets repeated for the next 3 turns. They continuously like I'm breaking really badly. They're playing some supporters. They're never able to find like more than 1 Frillish, and because like I'm already really far in the prize trade. If they know if they ever break item lock, I'll be able to go Rare Candy Gardevoir and just instantly win the game. But because they keep going for this, like, because they keep just, like, foolishing me, I'm just, like, announcing, like, Mind Bend for 4 turns in a row, and I don't think they can, like, actually start playing the game until they're at, like, a free prize card deficit, and at which point I'm just, like, so far ahead in the prize card, I think it's, like, almost impossible for me to lose. It's definitely a very interesting board state that came up in the early game, where I just, like, kept Monkey Dory attacking their Frillish, and it just kept working out so well for me. Round 6 was against Sarah Ledge. The Sarah Ledge line for Gardevoir is actually very easy. I'm going to use Mew EX attack 3 times, because Sarah Ledge actually gets heavily nerfed by having 2 attacks, which I think is a very unique situation. You can Sarah Ledge attack, you can Mew EX, copy Sarah Ledge's second attack to perfectly OHKO it. I don't know why they added this attack onto Sarah Ledge, but it makes Mew EX a perfect counter for it. I did see that they played Briar, so I had to slightly pivot strategies to Scream Tail their Squawk ability and Pheasantipity to kind of like force them to take like one prize out of 2, so their Briar combo doesn't work. There was like one suspicious point where if they found like 2 Gusts in a row and then Briar on the 3rd turn, they could have won. Because I missed 5 energy for like a really crucial OHKO on like 1 turn. But I also like backup strategies if they did that. Like they played like Sork and Lunatone down. So my other plan was just like use Monkey Dory a bunch to just like clear their Solrock, so I can go down, so I can skip from like 4 prizes to 1 prize and just like entirely skip their like Briar opportunity. Round 7 was against Grimmsnarl, which is very unfortunately the same story as my first round. I bricked really badly. I think it's almost the exact same, where I don't get a single Gardevoir EX or Monkey Dory Dark attachment until they're on free prizes. Does not feel great. I start Clefairy, so I start manually attaching to it to clear their active Monkey Dory Dark, but they re-establish very easily. They put on Frostlass, OHKO my Uncharmed Clefairy, and I'm just like, I just don't draw anything really for the whole game. It doesn't feel great. I did actually win con if they missed the Monkey Dory Dark on their final turn, but they found it, which I think I missed Ino as well. It just wasn't a great game for me. Round 8 was against Jellicent Gardevoir. It was very similar to the last Jellicent Gardevoir game as well, where I start Monkey Dory and I start continuously spawn camping their Frillish. Frillish attack, Mind Bend. Frillish attack, Mind Bend. Frillish attack, Mind Bend. Lily's also did a lot of work. I think I was also able to set up Gardevoir EX under item lock because I'm just drawing so many cards, which I think Liz definitely makes this like turbo build much more favored against Jellicent builds. I kind of thought like halfway the game, like what happened if we charmed their Frillish, but I think my strategy would probably work even better then, because Bravery Charm is so important in the Gardevoir matchup, irrespective of Jellicent or not, that using their only Bravery Charm can be so awkward for them like in the early game. That actually gives you really good odds to win in the late game, just by knowing they can't like Bravery Charm Scream Tail attack. It's like they usually play 1. At this point, I think it was like half through the game where I'm just like continuously mind bending their Frillish. I know I've made day 2. Ecstatic to finally make it after I think 3 tournaments of missing day 2. A lot of really close day 2s, but a lot of misses. I guess it's 2 tournaments since I missed day 2, but yeah. I have the best I've had in weeks. Day 2 starts at 8 AM, but I get a really good sleep. Wake up feeling ready to go. And my first round is against this insane pot in our list. So it's similar to Torrid's build. We place 4 Candy. However, this list also plays 4 Lily's Determination, which definitely makes Rare Candy strategy much more functional. I do draw my evolution early, so I'm feeling quite confident. I play Lily, and then I'm unfortunately drawn to my other Kirlia. And I can only evo into 1. At this point, I'm still feeling very safe, at which point they respond with Rare Candy Dust Noir, set up 3 to Cloak, and I enemy to 5 cards. Next turn, I'm able to go back into the Lily, and draw back into my Kirlia, and I think like Manning Tactical Fairy, I'm not sure. But they go a second Rare Candy Dust Noir to clear my Kirlia, and at this point it just was kind of finished. I think on their turn 3, they're also able to go Neo Upper, Boss's Orders up my Clefairy that I was attaching to. So we literally have like turn 3, like, they've only got 2 prizes left, and at this point it's almost impossible for me to win. I think I tried to create a comeback line with Mew EX and Bravery Charm and earn them to low, but I'm just, like, my Curler's been spawn camped. It's pretty much impossible for me to win at this point because the price deficit is so low, and it's a very easy win for them. At this point, basically the way it works for day 2 as well is that when you get to 4 losses, you're automatically dropped from the tournament. And if I get one more loss, I'll be automatically dropped with nothing to show for my day 2 run. There's a prize you get for going 10 wins, which I really wanted, like a promo card. So at this point, I just lock in. Round 10 begins, my opponent flips over Raging Bolt, and I know I've won. This matchup is so ridiculously favored that even though I only TM Evolution into 1 Kirlia on my, I think it's first turn, I have Candy Gardevoir in hand. Despite that, he still exhausts Prime Catcher to KO my Kirlia with Baby Raging Bolt, and at this point I know I've won. Even if I don't have Rare Candy Gardevoir in hand, Prime Catcher is so important for Raging Bolt in that matchup that if they use it on their like second turn, I don't have to get a Gardevoir up for literally like turns upon turns upon turns, and I can still easily win. Round 11, I hit Festival Lead. Truthfully, I don't know how I hit Festival Lead this late into a tournament. My opponent was so nice, probably one of the nicest Pokemon players I've ever played against. A lot of respect for how nice he was, and bringing such an interesting deck so late into his tournament. He got a lot of bad lucks with his draws. There was a slight world where I could have like got donked and been out of a tournament by Festival Lead, which would have been really, I guess, funny in a sick way. Historical Fairy, which dips Link in one shot. With nothing else in my hand, I have thankfully top deck counter turn 1, so I don't get donked, and if I don't get donked in that matchup, it's almost like impossible to lose. So, draw my cards, there's a basic Pokemon, I win the game. Which is what ends up happening. Round 12 against Grimmsnarl, I'm starting to get flashbacks to my day 1 run. It's quite, I think the matchup's really not really, I think it's like 50-50 for me with Dianchi. I just have not been drawing the best against that deck. And this time my deck hears me, it says, okay, we're locking in. My deck functions the best it ever has before. I start Monkey Dory, Dark, TM Evolution in the active, and by turn 3 I have triple Monkey Dory set up, and I just Dianchi swing for game. I do actually play pretty badly this match, despite like my insane draws. And my opponent has a way to win, because basically like the way Japan works is if you go to time, you get like a double game loss. So throughout all these games, I was just entirely omitting like price checking like a lot of cards. So I don't price check my last Psychic Energy, and it is quite literally my last prize card. So my opponent can actually win by just trapping my second Gardevoir EX in the active, because like I've considered all my other energy on the board without realizing literally my last Psychic Energy was prized. I have a way to get around this by retreating Screamtail into Gardevoir. So like the energy gets off Screamtail, so my second Gardevoir doesn't get stuck. Didn't price check at all. I thought it was safe. Thankfully, my opponent didn't see that line, so I was able to live another day, but it's definitely very suspicious. Definitely a play I should have got punished for. Next, we have round 13 against Potner once again. So for getting 10 wins, you get a special promo. So I am locked in so hard for this. I think I prized my Team Evo for the first time, which doesn't feel amazing. But I drew really well with sets. I used Lilies, and I draw a double Curlia. And I'm like, okay, this is literally just like the exact same as TM Evo. So I evolved on both my routes, established my board fine. The game actually comes pretty close. It comes down to him finding a combination of cards. I think it's like Neo Upper, Boss, I think there's a couple other cards he needs for combos as well. I can't exactly remember. Maybe like, I think he needs like Dust Noir, and he needs Dragapult. Currently has Wonder Cloak on board and 3 cards in hand. He gets really close to a combo actually, but he misses Neo Upper. think it comes down to like him using Lily to try and find it. But yeah, he misses, and I'm able to get my promo card, and at this point I'm feeling really good. I don't think I ever had a chance to make cut, because basically the way it works, it kind of like resets your resistance from day one. So when I get that round 1 loss, my resistance is just entirely tanked. However, there is a price for going 12 wins and 3 losses, which I'm unaware about at the time. But at this point, I'm like, I've achieved my goal. Rest of the day, I'll just be trying to have fun. Play as many games as I can to not be knocked out early. Round 14 against Raging Bolt. So this is kind of similar to the last Raging Bolt game, where I'm only able to ever into 1 Kirlia, but this Kirlia is so annoying with its 100 HP, I think it's forced his Prime Catcher to OHKO it. This time, I don't have Rare Candy Gardevoir just chilling in my hand, but I'm so favoured to win with his Prime Catcher down early, but as long as I find a single Gardevoir X by the time it goes down to 3 prizes, I can set up a checkmate position by OHKOing one of his Pokemon with like Scream Tail every turn. This game actually comes down to the wire as time is about to be called and even forces double game loss, as he's able to bump away all his low 2 prizers, and I slightly misplay my board by benching second routes for almost no reason, because like, okay, I guess I'll explain like the Prime Catcher thing now. As long as I continuously knock out Raging Bolt EX with Engie on it, you can never like Gust and use Professor Sadism in the same turn, right? Because only Gust left is Boss's Orders, because he's had to exhaust his Prime Catcher so early. So there's actually no point in betting second routes because I know my Gardevoir X is never going to die for the whole game. So he bumps away always board of like low 2 prizers, and at this point I need him to misplay for me to win. I have guaranteed game if time isn't called, which is why it kind of sucks that I had to go down to this way. But I don't know if it's intentional or not, but he gives me the way anyway. I think it was intentional. If you basically, it came down to an end game. If he leaves Fan Rotom in the active, he just wins because I can't KO both Fan Rotom and the new 2 prize he puts in the active. However, he gives me an out by putting a 1 prize that isn't Fan Rotom in the active, putting like Raging Bolt. At which point I can just Monkey Dory KO the Fan Rotom on the bench and then KO the new 1 prize in the active to get the win. Round 15 was Jezen Hammers. This was such a cool deck. I'll show the picture here. I think this is probably a bit Gardevoir favored. There's a lot of really cool things they can do in this matchup, with like set up Jellicent and just continuously boss my Kirlias. However, the game is pretty much over when I'm able to turn 1 everyone's double Kirlia. It's only like a matter of time. To be able to win, he would need me to miss Gardevoir EX my following turn, and just have double boss in his hand, as well as double triple acceleration energy. He does have a double triple acceleration energy, but he misses the boss. And I'm able to set my Gardevoir, and once Gardevoir set up, it's impossible to lose, I think. At one point, while I'm waiting for my Gardevoir to appear, I start mind bending his Jellicent, which the deck also can't deal with. Jellicent got a bunch of retreat cost. I'm pretty sure a single Monkey Dory with like enough confusion flips can just solo his deck, to be honest, which is kind of funny. So I pick up a nice easy win at the end, ending 12-3, securing the promo I wanted, and most importantly, a spot in the incredibly exclusive Japan National Championships. I had no clue this was a prize for playing, for going 12-3. I think it's like a consolation prize for bubbling cut, which is what happened to me. I had the record to make cut. Resistance was way too bad to make it. I'm so excited to play in this tournament. I think this tournament I wanted to play in for years now. I tried to register for it last year, but it's like, I think you have about like probably 30,000 people, if I had to guess, trying to register for it, maybe like 20,000. And there's 2,000 spots, and 1,800 of those spots go towards like auto invite people like me, like I am now. So 200 people fighting out. I think it'd be 20,000 people fighting for 200 spots. Obviously, very low odds to make it into the tournament without getting an auto invite. Now with my auto invite, I fully understand how amazing it is to be able to win this tournament. so incredibly excited, so I'll be returning to June for it, and I'll probably have a video up then about my tournament run. It kind of serves as a sequel to my previous video about the meta rundown. I was able to give a bunch of really unique insights about the meta due to my experience playing in Champions League, so please give that video a watch if you haven't already. I always really enjoy making tournament recap videos from a successful tournament. I had so much fun playing in this tournament. It's quite hard to register for this tournament. Like, obviously, you have to, like, you're probably going to be missing, like, a couple registrations at first, just because so many people trying to compete for the spot in the tournament. I couldn't be more happy with my results, and I'm definitely really excited for the future. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Speaking of a new format, we have a bunch of cool new guides coming up soon, which we're gonna not gonna want to miss. Thank you so much for watching, and bye bye.